The Canterville Ghost, Chapter 3. The Ghost Appears. There was a terrible storm all night. The next morning, when the Otis family came downstairs to breakfast, the stain was there again. Washington was surprised and unhappy. "I don't understand what happened," said Washington. "Pinkerton's champion cleaners always work." He cleaned the floor with Pinkerton's champion cleaner, and the stain disappeared. But the next morning, the stain was there again. Washington cleaned the floor for the third time. His father closed the library door that night and kept the key in his pocket. But in the morning, the stain was still there. "This is interesting," said Mr. Otis. "Perhaps the house really is haunted." That evening, the Otis family went for a ride and returned home at 9 o'clock for dinner. During the ride, they talked about the things imported Americans always talk about. "American actors are better than European actors," said Mr. Otis. "American food is better than English food," said Mrs. Otis. "The city of Boston is more important than Rome," said Washington. "American boys are taller than English boys," said the twins, smiling. No one in the Otis family talked about Sir Simon de Canterville, but that night they discovered that there was a ghost at Canterville Chase. At 11 o'clock, everyone went to bed. Sometime later, Mr. Otis woke up because he heard a strange noise outside his room. He looked at the clock. It was 1 o'clock. He opened his bedroom door. In front of him, there was a terrible old man. His eyes were red like fire. His long gray hair was dirty. His clothes were very old. On his wrists and ankles, there were heavy chains. Mr. Otis looked at him calmly and said, "My dear sir, your chains are making a terrible noise. You'll wake up everyone in the house. Take this bottle of Rising Sun American lubricator, put it in your chains, and they won't make noise anymore." Mr. Otis put the bottle of Rising Sun American lubricator on the table outside his bedroom and went back to bed. The ghost was very surprised. He took the bottle and threw it on the floor angrily. Then he ran down the hall and made terrible sounds. Suddenly, another bedroom door opened and the twins appeared. They threw their big white pillows at him. The ghost of Sir Simon de Canterville disappeared through the wall into his secret room. "For 300 years, I frightened everyone in this house," he thought. "Famous lords shot themselves and famous ladies drowned themselves in the lake. Servants always ran away. After all my success, these modern Americans come here and have no respect for me. This is horrible. I must do something." End of chapter 3.